Our benefactors have invested a total of $550 million in our students, medical treatments and breakthroughs, and intercollegiate athletics.
Montgomery says the Empowering Futures gift is the largest contribution for a public institution of higher education in U.S. history. $200 million will go to WMU, $300 million will go to its medical school, and Bronco Athletics will receive $50 million. When you see news happen, GW Newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Plenty of sunshine for today. A few showers and storms are possible in the area, mainly during the afternoon. Highs will top out near 87 degrees. Winds northeasterly 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear. Lows drop to 66. Winds remain northeast 5 to 10. Thursday, lots more sunshine. Highs warm into the upper 80s to near 90. Winds turn to the east-southeast 5 to 10. Thursday night, clear to partly cloudy. Lows. And then Friday, a few afternoon showers are possible in the area, and highs reach 86. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 77.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show for Midweek Wednesday morning. Nice to have you with us. Later on, we'll have open phones during the 10 o'clock hour, and at 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to talk to Doug Temple at the Saginaw Y about a big concert they have coming up next week as a fundraiser. We'll tell you more about that, but we're going to start out this morning talking about a natural resource that sits right off our northern point, if you will, and that's Saginaw Bay and the Saginaw River, and some money being spent on restoration. And we're going to do that this morning by saying good morning from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Clark McCreedy. Clark, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
You bet.
And by the way, folks, you can watch us on Twitter, twitch.tv, Facebook, YouTube, all those wonderful things. I want to start out, Clark, before we get to the nitty-gritties of what's happening now. I think we have to go back to the late 90s and something called the General Motors settlement. What was that?
So correct. 1998 General Motors settlement, which was a settlement for natural resource damages in the Saginaw River and Bay. And in this case, we had the release of what are known as PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, which are an entirely man-made chemical used in industrial manufacturing that happens to be a contaminant with some detrimental effects to the environment. So in 1998, we entered a settlement with General Motors, the City of Saginaw, and Bay City for natural resource damages. Approximately $28 million in that settlement that was used for natural resource restoration and the dredging of contaminated sediments out of the river and bay.
So I have to ask this question.
Sure.
What's taken 23 years to spend all this money?
But that's a great question, and it's really sort of appropriate. So the bulk of that money was spent early in the settlement. So 1998 to 2005 in terms of dredging, acquisition of restoration properties, and the restoration of properties. We, however, managed to acquire some savings in two areas. Number one, we had originally budgeted about $11 million for dredging of contaminants. We realized substantial savings there. Part of the settlement had a allocation for restoration and monitoring that was set aside, $3.1 million. And so we didn't. We realized some savings. We banked those savings, which is sort of a unique ability of natural resource trustee councils. We can bank the money. It doesn't go away. We acquire some interest. And actually, the consent judgment made provision for the use of those funds in the future. Now, why didn't we spend it over 20 some years? We also knew coming was another settlement, and that is the Dow Tittabawassee case. And that affects the same environment. And so there is still ongoing restoration work, remediation work happening in the Tittabawassee River. And because our restoration areas overlap, what we have decided to do, those respective trustee councils, is to wait until much of that restoration work or remediation work is finished on the Tittabawassee before we implement the use of these funds that we managed to save. So that's the long view. Sorry for my
That's all right. I'm quite familiar with the Tittabawassee because I live along it, so I'm familiar with the restoration work. But I have to ask a question about these councils that are the trustees.
Yes.
Are they under the federal government? Are they under U.S. Fish and Wildlife? Are they independent? Who controls this money?
Man, that is a great question. So trustee councils are unique. They're established by the statute and regulations that govern either the discharge of oil under the Oil Pollution Act or the discharge of hazardous substances under the Superfund law. So the trustee councils are established by statute, and who gets to sit on a trustee council is related to who has authority for the natural resources that have been damaged in the affected area. So in this case, the Department of Interior is represented by the Fish and Wildlife Service. The state had interest in natural resources that were damaged. So the governor gets to decide which agencies sit on that trustee council. In this case, that's the Attorney General's office, Eagle, and the DNR. In addition, the tribes also have authority for natural and cultural resources. So in this case, on the trustee council, the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan sits on the council. Now, our charge is to represent the interests of the public. That's our express duty. But who sits on those trustee councils is determined by the natural resources that were affected and who has management authority for those resources.
Let me ask, this would be a technical question, but there was discussion for a long time, particularly as it relates to the Tittabawassee River, the one I'm most familiar with, that remediation, that we might have been better off not disturbing the riverbed because most of the contaminants were encapsulated and buried. Your thoughts?
Well, that's, to some extent, you're hitting on a really important issue. And one of the ways in which those contaminants actually are being addressed in the Tittabawassee is to actually cap and leave in place. And so the assumption being that much of the contaminants lies in the sediment bed, which is the case. There's been extensive work to identify the locations of where those contaminants sit. The approach has not necessarily been to remove those contaminants out of the bed, but to actually put a cap over those. Now, there are certain areas, yes, in the floodplain where sediments or contaminated soils have been removed. So there's multiple approaches to addressing those contaminants. And the idea is not to make a situation work, but to apply various technologies as appropriate. So good question.
So before I have to take a break here, what damage was done by the Edenville and Sanford dam failures as it relates to the sediment?
Boy, now you're venturing out of my purview. So that's something that I haven't actually been involved with, though I know both the state and EPA have gone back to look at the movement of contaminants. But that's something that I don't have a lot of background in.
Would you speculate, though, Clark, as a contaminant specialist, which you are, that there had to be some movement with the kind of force water that was coming?
Certainly, there probably has been some. But for example, think about the Saginaw River and Bay, we're somewhat fortunate in that we're removed substantially, particularly in time. And so naturally over time, we're seeing a decline or diminishment of some of those sediments or contaminants in sediments. So undoubtedly some movement, but the particulars, I would refer you to my colleagues.
I respect that. I'm going to take a break. Hang on, and we'll be back talking to Clark McCreedy, contaminant specialist with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, about the Saginaw Bay restoration and what's happening. And we will take a look at the latest plan when we return here on the Art Lewis Show. Let me take a moment to talk to you about our friends at Thalen Auto Group in Bay City. There's a lot of news these days about the fact that the new car industry is suffering because of the lack of chips and the lack of vehicles then. But the used car industry is doing very well right now. And the Thalen Auto Group is happy to tell you they have one of the largest selections in the Great Lakes Bay region, hundreds of vehicles right there on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And of course, you have a variety of vehicles, everything from luxury vehicles to everyday drivers in all price ranges, lots of pickup trucks, SUVs. You name it, you're going to find it on the lot. And Thalen searches the market for the lowest prices on their used vehicles, and that's the price they pass on to you because it's the right thing to do. Financing is easy at Thalen, no matter what your current credit situation. So I would suggest you stop in today at the Thalen Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. View their entire inventory online at thinkthalen.com. Then test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Sit down with a Thalen representative to see how easy it is to make your dreams come true. Thalen Auto Group. They've been serving the automobile needs of the Great Lakes Bay region for 44 years, now in its third generation of family ownership. We'll be back with Clark McCreedy after these notes.
And the winner is...
Who doesn't love to win? Now you can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, they are paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner, maybe even me. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. Anyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May through August wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire branch. The Great Loan Payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit wildfirecu.org/payoff for details.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm. Prospect of divorce becomes a reality. You need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Whew. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report. Advisory Board has reached an agreement with former VW CEO Martin Winterkorn and Audi CEO Rupert Stadler, and they will pay back millions for their alleged involvement in the 2015 emissions scandal. VW accused both executives of failing to take action when emissions cheating emerged in some diesel engine cars. Royal Dutch Shell says it is stepping up its efforts to cut carbon emissions after a Dutch court ruling last month ordering it to take action, though Shell is still expected to appeal. Fewer people were applying for a mortgage last week, though Mortgage Day cut into filings. The Mortgage Bankers Association says its average for a traditional 30-year mortgage decreased to 3.15% last week. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Koselva, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are tucked so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come in sizes and fits for everybody, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for dad at untuckit.com or one of 80-plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit inspiresleep.com to learn more.
2020 was a challenging year, but things are looking up, including the stock market's performance. But will it last? Hi, I'm Ken Murray, Senior Advisor at Retirement Planners of America. If you are 50 or older, call us today to schedule a free consultation to learn more about our Invest and Protect strategy that is designed of the stock market. Call us today at 800-375-1159 to schedule your free assessment. That's 800-375-1159.
1-2, swing and a miss. Oh boy, the changeup. Career high strikeout number 10 for Tarek Skubal. First time he has reached double digits.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Clark McCreedy. He is with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and also the case manager for the Natural Resources Trustees for the Saginaw River and Bay. And they have finalized a restoration plan. Would this one be the final restoration plan?
Yes, Art. Yeah, exactly.
So I have to ask, before we get into some of the nitty-gritty of this plan, am I right in saying that the Saginaw River and the Saginaw Bay have never been healthier, that they're in pretty good shape right now?
Well, and
oh, look at that smile.
I
love this video stuff.
I know it. Yeah, this Saginaw Bay is, of course, one of those areas of concern identified within the Great Lakes region. So there are still issues that multiple agencies, particularly our state partners, are working on to improve the ecological condition of the bay. So there's still some things that folks are concerned about, and contaminants being one of them.
That's always going to be the case, isn't it? We better be concerned about contaminants, otherwise.
Absolutely. Yes, right. Exactly. So it's something that we always have to keep in mind and keep working towards in terms of ecological restoration.
All right. So this restoration plan, and I think there's about $5 million involved in this, something along those lines.
5.7.
$5.7 million.
Right.
How is this money going to be spent?
So another good question. We have a suite of projects already identified that we'll be looking to implement. And that implementation period for these projects will be the next 1 to 7 years. And then we're also providing maintenance funding to maintain the condition of those projects over a project lifetime of at least 20 years. In addition to these projects that have already been identified, we've set aside $750,000 to implement restoration project that will be identified in the future by stakeholders in the Saginaw River and Bay. And that's very similar to the Dow Tittabawassee case, where they have $5 million set aside for stakeholder identified restoration projects. So that's the quick overview.
When we say restoration, I live on the high side of the Tittabawassee, so I don't get the direct result, although the floodwaters did affect me. If I had land along the Tittabawassee or the Saginaw River, for example, and I suspected contaminants, would that restoration money pay to remove those contaminants from my property, for example?
These projects are not designed to do site-specific remediation, removal of contaminants. These projects are designed to restore the natural resources that were affected long ago and far away by those contaminants. So in this case, we've identified the restoration of the Saginaw River mouth, which is a property owned by the Saginaw Chippewa tribe, a unique rivermouth delta property. We're also implementing a project on the Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge. So probably many of your listeners know about the Greenpoint area, their Germania Golf Course. That's about 275 acres that we're going to restore to natural habitats, add wetland restoration to that property. And in that 1998 settlement, we acquired a number of properties that went to the state that added to the existing recreational and wildlife conservation properties of the state. So we acquired additional properties, but we didn't add capacity. And in fact, the state hasn't been able to add capacity. And so they've acquired additional properties, but not the funding and manpower to implement those restorations. And so we'll do that. And then there's two very unique properties in the Bay, the Charity Islands, Big and Little Charity Islands. And we'll go back to do restoration and monitoring work there in partnership with folks like Huron Pines. So unique partnerships, unique properties, all with substantial public benefit for folks in the Saginaw River and Bay.
So this restoration money, I mean, how far geographically does it extend? Because when I hear Saginaw River, Saginaw Bay, I think of Saginaw Bay out to maybe Buoy 1, and then you're out into Huron. Charities are in Huron. You go out fairly far then, don't you?
Very far. And so, the landscape that the trustees have the authority to work within, as defined by that 1998 consent judgment, the court document that memorialized the settlement, we have broad authority in basically the Saginaw River and Bay watershed. So any project, for example, stakeholder identified projects, any project within that large watershed that addresses the injury to natural resources as a consequence of PCB contamination, we can look at. So broad geographic scope.
Do we now have to add PFAS to this list?
That's another great...
A whole nother settlement.
That's a unique issue in and of itself. And I'll delve into that just momentarily, and then we'll hopefully swing back to Saginaw River State. So under Superfund, hazardous substances have to be identified as a hazardous substance under the statute. In this case, PFAS has not yet been identified as a hazardous substance, and therefore natural resource trustees do not yet have the authority to seek compensation for damages to natural resources under the federal statutes. And of course, the state of Michigan has really been leading the nation in terms of identifying water quality standards, doing assessments. And so we're fortunate in the state to have such a rigorous program as within the DNR and EGLE and all those folks working on PFAS. It's out of our purview in terms of natural resource trustees
Right now.
right now.
I want to go back. You mentioned a property, Germania, and I was a member there for a long time when it was a club.
Right.
And you mentioned restoration. That was a golf course. What do you have to do to restore it? Wouldn't nature take it back to its original wild form?
Well, it might eventually. Eventually, but think of this, Art, it's got 4.2 miles of decaying asphalt cart paths that are now broken. In case of the small pond on the east side, those cart paths are actually falling into the pond. And think of the what we call the ponds on Germania. They're actually irrigation ditches, and what we call Long Pond on the west side was actually a poorly designed irrigation ditch because the walls are so exceptionally steep. We're talking about slopes of 70% or more, that for all practical purposes, they represent a safety hazard, and they have no wetland or ecological value. So restoration in this case, we would take those steep sidewalls out and flatten them so we get gradual slopes so that we can go from open water, a transition to emergent aquatic vegetation, to wetland shrubs, and on the north side, maybe the Lake Plain Prairie, and on the south side toward the river, riparian hardwood forest. And so the Long Pond is a great example of the restoration potential. You've got sort of a dysfunctional irrigation ditch that we can add substantial wetland value to, and then we can provide something like a public amenity where we have an observation platform. And so not just ecological benefit, but benefit particularly to that Southwest Neighborhood Association that really enjoys that property.
Clark, can you hang on?
Sure.
A quick break. We're talking to Clark McCreedy from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service about Saginaw River and Bay restoration. We will do more of it when we return here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty in Saginaw. Sellers are getting top dollar for their homes with the average of 1 day on the market. Linda Shepard sells faster. Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She doesn't waste any time. Easy to work with, no pressure tactics, and several years of experience. Linda's a full-time agent that lives here and sells here, and her agency, Pinnacle Realty, is not a franchise, so the money stays right here in your community. Buyers, the interest rates are still low. Linda Shepard watches the market closely, so clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer, every time. Call Linda at 989-295-7713, 295-7713. Back with Clark McCreedy after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
Imagine a place so inviting that it becomes your home. The Wellspring Senior Living Campus in Saginaw is designed for you to live life to the fullest. Our tailored approach to independent and assisted living fits your lifestyle and preferences. If you'd like the Wellspring family by your side, encouraging you and your loved ones every step of the way, schedule a tour at Wellspring Senior Living Campus today at SaginawSeniorLiving.com.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone with trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to SpectrumMobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum Internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. Looking for us all, it's that time of year again to hitch up the wagon and head north. Now, before you go getting too far on your journey, don't forget to fuel up that inner grizzly at the Lumberjack Restaurant. From nachos piled high with pulled pork to dangerously creamy mac and cheese, your gut will thank you for making the detour. So get your axe up to the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch, exit 212 I-75, where hunger goes to die.
With Consumers Energy's summer peak rate, you can lower your bill by reducing energy use during peak times. This gives you more control over your monthly energy bill while contributing to a smarter and cleaner energy future. Here are some ways to save. Run your dishwasher or do your laundry after 7 p.m. Use a smart thermostat to pre-cool your home before 2 p.m. And where possible, use timers for appliances like water heaters or dehumidifiers. Visit consumersenergy.com/summer rate to learn more.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the killer deals you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Cafe 13, JB's Market, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, Beer Garden, and High Country Jumpers. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, talking to Clark McCreedy, contaminant specialist from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and also the case manager for the Natural Resources Trustees for the Saginaw River and Bay. Another project caught my attention in some of the lists I looked at. I was on the Friends of the State Recreation Area Board for a long time, and in Bay City. And one of the issues was always Tobico Marsh.
Tobico Marsh.
Back in the early 2000s, there was some remediation done. Is that on the list of projects now that you're going to go back in there and look at it?
Well, I will say that there will be Tobico Marsh is not specifically identified. There's an existing maintenance fund for Tobico, and there's a broader project that we call the State of Michigan Acquired Property. So Tobico sits within that larger body of property acquisitions that we're looking at as a larger project. So what we're going to do is build the capacity of the state of Michigan to go back to all those properties in addition to Tobico. And Tobico is its own very unique sort of project in and of itself. And you probably know about that effort to provide fish passage. So Tobico's unique marsh that provides fisheries, breeding habitat, nursery, juvenile fish habitat. And the project originally there provided for fish passage between the marsh and the bay. But at the same time, we tried to address those water levels during high water events. So we've got a unique flat gate that allows passage but closes during high water events. But the funding that's going to go to the state of Michigan for those state properties, Tobico certainly could be within that broader use of those funds among all those properties. Are
so if you look at this final restoration plan that's been put forth now by the trustees, what are the biggest items in this plan?
Biggest items are those, well, there's really 5. There's 5 keystones. The 4 projects that we've mentioned, the Saginaw River mouth restoration to be implemented by the Saginaw Chippewa tribe, the Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge Greenpoint area restoration, the state of Michigan acquired restoration properties, and that's, a dozen or more properties that ring the bay at the various recreational and wildlife properties. And then the Michigan Islands, the Charity Islands, and then the fifth sort of arm of this approach is continued contaminant monitoring in the Saginaw River and Bay. So the trustees have always continued to support monitoring of contaminants. For example, we support a caged fish study within the Saginaw River that's conducted by our Michigan Eagle partners. We support the monitoring of contaminants in colonial nesting waterbirds, and we'll continue to continue that contaminant monitoring effort in support of things like the area of concern. So those are the five major parts of the plan, Art.
How much of what's happened over the last 23 years or whatever the number is has had an impact on the fishery itself, particularly Saginaw Bay?
Well, that's, I wish I had my counterpart, Lisa Williams, here to talk about the various efforts in the Dow Tittabawassee case in partnership, in particular with State of Michigan, USGS, other agencies. So there's been a substantial effort to improve the breeding habitat of fishes in the bay. And that's part of that Dow Tittabawassee settlement in particular. But when you think about stakeholder identified restoration projects that this case will look to, and the Dow case will look to sometime this fall, things like the restoration of breeding reefs within the bay or habitats within the rivers, those would be the sort of projects that we would continue to consider in terms of the use of those funds that we've set aside for stakeholder projects.
All right. So in conclusion, let's talk about how various stakeholders can put forth proposals to be considered by the organization.
Excellent question. So sometime this fall, we'll again do some very deliberate outreach to stakeholders. And, we've built an email list. We continue to communicate with stakeholders. So we have a pretty good idea of the interested parties within the Saginaw River and Bay. So we'll do some very deliberate, directed outreach, both the Dow case and the Saginaw case. We'll do directed outreach to stakeholders, but we'll probably do other things like press releases. We continue to participate in meetings like the Saginaw River, Tittabawassee River Contaminant Community Advisory Group. Some people call that the CAG, the Saginaw Tittabawassee Bay. So we'll continue to participate with those groups to make sure that people are aware of the opportunity. We'll do directed outreach, and then we'll do some broader outreach as well, Art. And I would look for that sometime this fall.
I'll look forward to sitting here talking to you again in the fall then.
All right.
Clark, thank you much for being with us. Very informative. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Clark McCreedy, Clark from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and also the case manager for the Northern Resource Trustees for the Saginaw River and Bay, finalizing plans to spend the remaining funds from the GM settlement back in 1998. We thank him for his time this morning. We're going to take a pause, come back. We'll have open phones now from now until 11 o'clock because the next hour is also open. All ahead here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
When it comes to defending their yield from corn rootworm, farmers need protection they can count on. It's why they trust SmartStax technology. Proven on over 140 million acres, SmartStax technology offers 2 modes of action against corn rootworm, the billion-dollar bug. See why farmers rely on it to protect their roots at traits.bayer.com/SmartStax. Always read and follow IRM, grain marketing, and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions. Performance may vary. Corn farmers can face pressure from a variety of above-ground insects, including western bean cutworm, corn borer, fall armyworm, corn earworm, Tricepta technology offers broad spectrum control of these pests, delivering protection from insect damage. See how I can help defend your yield potential at traits.com/Tricepta. Tricepta technology. This is your year. Always read and follow IRM, grain marketing, and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions. Performance may vary.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door. Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just
thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
to start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/love.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the first ever Midland County Cornhole Tournament. Presented Ministries. The player registration fee is usually $100, but if you go to RocketGrabPlus.com right now, you get yours half off. And the winner of the tournament takes home $1,000. The tournament is taking place Saturday, June 26th at the Eagle Ridge Church of God in Midland. Head to right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort, breathing, and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSW online poll, Women and the Military Draft. The question of whether or not women should be for the draft when turning age 18, as men are required to do now, has popped up again. The Supreme Court has announced it will not hear any case regarding this matter. They say the court has a long-standing deference to Congress on matters of national defense and military affairs. The Senate Armed Services Committee actually held a hearing on this issue recently, but any desire for the lawmakers to pursue any uncertain. Our poll question, should women be required to register for the draft as men are required to do? It's a simple yes, it's a simple no, or it's a simple I'm not sure. That's what we want to know from you. The WSW online poll, you go to WSW.com, scroll down that homepage, find the online poll box, and make your votes.
The Morning Team Show, week to 9 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you, and as I mentioned, it's open phones from here on out till 11 o'clock this morning. I want to chat just for a moment about something I've mentioned a couple of times, and I feel quite vindicated in some ways about it. I mentioned the chip crisis in the auto industry has, of course, thinned the inventory, new vehicle inventory, of dealers all over, not just right here, but everywhere. And I suggested that it's time the U.S. start taking matters in their own hands and create chip factories where we make our own and we're less dependent on places like China. And I don't want to take credit for this because they didn't listen to me to do it. But Congress, in a bipartisan fashion, let me repeat that. Congress, in a bipartisan fashion, the Senate has passed a bill and sent it to the House. Almost assuredly, it'll pass in the House, investing billions of dollars in semiconductors needed by the auto industry and designed to put us in a better position to compete with the rest of the world. It provides investing more than $50 billion into the making of semiconductors and includes $2 billion in specific investments in older generation semiconductors used in automaking. And Democrats and Republicans came together 2 weeks ago to cut off the debate and move it on to the House, where, again, final passage is assured. There was a bit of a delay because John Conran, a Republican of Texas, won in an amendment that would strip out what's called prevailing wage provisions, which has to do with government work. As you know, in Michigan, the prevailing wage provision was eliminated, except as it has to do with federal contracts. And this bill would have stripped it out of these federal contracts. It failed. So the measure was passed by the Senate, sent to the House, and both Senator Stabenow and Senator Peters played quite a role in crafting this legislation, obviously because of the auto industry. And they're looking to figure ways to secure the supply chain. And now they've provided funding to do it. And as I've said before, no matter the politics involved, when it comes to Stabenow and Peters, one thing you can say about them, if it has to do with Michigan, they seem to always vote for what's best for Michigan, which may have something to do with their longevity. We'll take our last break this hour, back to close out the hour, but next hour will be open phones for the entire hour. We'll be back after these notes.
Fast Eddie's Car Wash and Oil Change Center should be your one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs. We provide outstanding service when it comes to keeping your vehicle clean and running at its best. We're now offering the latest in car wash engineering with its state-of-the-art technology. Twice the foam, twice the wax, twice the results. You won't be disappointed with the show. And to make it easy and affordable for you, we offer the Ultimate Car Wash membership starting as low as $22.95 a month. You can wash your vehicle every day of the week at any of our 16 locations. And while you're there, stop in and get a full-service oil change and 21-point inspection. You can't beat that value, convenience, and quality that Fast Eddie's offers. So whether you're treating yourself, giving a gift or gesture to a friend or loved one, flowers, overrated. Dinner, short-lived. Vacation, a little pricey. Give the gift you'll be reminded of daily every time you step in that vehicle. Fast Eddie's Ultimate Car Wash membership. Believe me, it will be appreciated. Fast Eddie's, your one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs.
Save big money in your next project with 11% off everything right now at Menards. Give a beautiful, rich color to your projects with Minwax Wood Finish. Minwax is a penetrating stain that enhances all types of wood. All quarts and gallons are 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through June 12th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Meet Bob Minetti.
My wife and I just celebrated 45 memorable years together. She and my daughter Katie are my anchors.
Bob and Wendy's healthcare causes.
I guess I liked it so much, I decided to become a patient.
In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
I assumed that there was no hope for people with my diagnosis.
Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion.
I'm so glad that I learned about what was possible for me.
I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to ensure that everyone facing this diagnosis knows about the immense progress being made. Stand Up to Cancer and Lusk Garden Foundation are working together to make every person diagnosed into a long-term survivor, like Bob. Visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
Furnished by Stand Up to Cancer.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Little blue or little yellow pills for only $1.19 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
It's Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, that'll wrap up this first hour. My thanks to Clark McCreedy from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for spending some time with us this morning. We'll take a break, head up toward the top of the hour, where we'll have news from CBS. They'll fill you in on everything on the international and national scene. Then the local report here on WSGW with the Great Lakes Bay and Michigan on focus. And then we will be back with open phones right after the news. Talk to you then.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by...
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden left for England this morning on the first overseas trip of his presidency. Reporters asked about plans for global COVID vaccinations.
Mr. President, do you expect to come out with a vaccine strategy for the world?
I have one and I'll be announcing it.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. First stop on the president's 8-day, 3-nation trip, the UK. The president addresses U.S. troops stationed at Mildenhall Air Force Base, about 90 minutes from London, later today. Then he flies south to Cornwall, site of this weekend's G7 summit. He'll have bilateral meetings with, among other leaders, his host, Prime Minister Boris Johnson. After the president will detour to Windsor Castle to meet the Queen before continuing on to his next stop, Brussels. On this side of the Atlantic, there are concerns about some COVID vaccine doses expiring. CBS's Alex Tin.
With the U.S. now on track to have more than 4 million doses of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine set to expire unused next month, the White House is urging states to accelerate the slowing pace of shots or make plans now to store the unused vaccine.
Police in San Bernardino County, California, are trying to track down a driver who hit and killed 3 girls walking on the side of a road and critically injured a 4th. Local school superintendent Peter Livingston.
These people are out there who I would not even call human beings running around here.
Police say the driver was in a white Chevy Silverado. 2 of the girls were in wheelchairs. It's shaping up to be a scorcher again in the upper Midwest and parts of the Northeast. CBS meteorologist David Parkinson.
Well, your high might be 91, 92, or 93, and I think it probably will be a degree than Tuesday was. Your feels-like temperatures are going to be knocking on the door of 100 degrees.
There's heavy rain in the forecast for Mississippi and Arkansas. Utah is dealing with the worst drought in the state's history. Governor Spencer Cox is urging people to shame neighbors who waste water.
Word travels. When your neighbor finds out they might have their secondary water shut off, we're all going to be a lot more careful about it.
Someone just bought a $20 coin for almost $20 million. CBS's Elaine Cobb.
The 1933 Double Eagle was the last gold coin produced for circulation, but it was never issued. President Franklin D. Roosevelt withdrew it as he tried to lift the country from depression. Most of the $20 coins were destroyed, except one, which was sold at auction in New York this week for $18.9 million.
The seller, shoe designer Stuart Weitzman. The buyer, anonymous. Dow down 22. This is CBS News.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skills tests to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection planning in Michigan. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Rice's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, June 17th in Saginaw at the Capolco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryrifelawyer.com.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell.
When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out of it and stay ahead of the game. Whew. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies, partly cloudy skies and 77 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A girl was struck by a car in Bay County last evening. She was taken by helicopter to an area hospital with unknown injuries. Bay County Sheriff's deputies responded to the scene on Wheeler Road between 8 and 9 Mile roads. No other details are available at this time. A police canine unit helped find a boy who ran off in Tuscola County yesterday. Police say the 8-year-old, not wearing a shirt or shoes, to the woods in the Shea Lake area. It isn't known why the boy ran off. The canine unit tracked the boy south through the woods, eventually ending up about a quarter mile from the home near a road. He was discovered safe, hiding in some tall grass. A convicted felon is facing several life in prison offenses after an alleged 45-hour crime spree, including murder, rape, and home invasion. Police say 40-year-old Isaiah Zeke Gardenhire is responsible for the death of a 13-year-old girl and the sexual assault of 2 women. The spree allegedly began in the early morning on Sunday when police say he sexually assaulted his girlfriend at their Union Township home in Isabella County, then proceeded to stab her 13-year-old daughter to death when the woman went for help. Gardenhire hid out for a time at a vacant unit in the Jamestown apartments before accosting a couple in another apartment and holding them against their will, according to police. He allegedly sexually assaulted the woman before fleeing in their vehicle. He was arrested in Flint Township Monday after turning himself in. Gardenhire on a $7,500 bond for second-degree criminal sexual conduct. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited data, when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of 4 is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Michigan's Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says her office is adding 350,000 appointments over nearly 4 months to address a pandemic-related backlog as residents try to renew driver's licenses, transfer vehicle titles, and conduct other business in person. Branch offices will be able to serve 25% more customers than planned by shortening 20-minute appointment slots to 10 minutes. Benson will also allow those who need a disability placard to show up without making an appointment. Greeters will be stationed at the doors of some of the department's busiest offices to help schedule those appointments. Kwame Kilpatrick plans a return to Detroit on Sunday as a preacher. Here's Sandra McNeil with this.
The Reverend Jim Holley has invited Kwame Kilpatrick to preach at his Little Rock Baptist Church on Sunday morning. Holley says he was impressed after hearing Kilpatrick's testimony a month ago.
I asked the question, after 30 some years with around the preachers, including me and all the other preachers that you've been running around with in the city of Detroit, and you meet them, you didn't get saved until you got to prison? He said, yes. A guy from Oklahoma, a non-African American, basically introduced him to Jesus Christ. And ultimately, I guess he was just saying that he'd been playing church until that time that he met this young man in prison.
Holly South Kilpatrick has asked for forgiveness for his. Kilpatrick was released from prison by President Trump in January. Reports say he plans to get married.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer has proposed expanding government-funded preschool to 22,000 eligible but unenrolled 4-year-olds in Michigan, saying too many cannot access an incredible opportunity because of inadequate funding. The expansion is designed to ensure all 65,000 eligible kids can attend either through the federal Head Start program or the state's Great Start Readiness program, which covers kids whose families make up to 250% of the federal poverty level. It would be funded with an infusion of $250 million in federal coronavirus relief aid and $155 million in state dollars. On preschool pays massive dividends in the future. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late today. Otherwise, a blend of clouds and sunshine develops with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the northeast are on 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions, a low near 64. By Thursday, sunshine, a high around 88 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny skies and a high around 88. Saturday, a chance for rain showers here late, increasing cloud cover high. Sunday, high of 85 with a chance for some rain showers here late. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 81.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, and it will be an open line hour. Whatever you would like to chat about, Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111, toll free in the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW. Outside the state of Michigan, you can call 989-752-6111. And you can watch me on twitch.tv, on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. And unfortunately, it's just me. Here I am, still at home, but you get to see my work surroundings and me, for whatever that's worth. A number of things to talk about this hour. I want to start something that's of interest to all of us in the state of Michigan, and that is the Secretary of State's office. You just heard a news report on our local news at the top of the hour. The Secretary of State is going to an appointment-only system. There's an exception if you need, for example, a handicap placard. If you are one of those who has recently received, for example, a sign-off from your doctor to get a handicap placard, you may show up at any of the Secretary of State's offices without an appointment, and they will accommodate you as quickly as possible. But that's the exception to the walk-up rule. There are now going to be greeters at the Secretary of State's offices, and if you show up without an appointment, they will assist you in making an appointment, but not right then and there. The appointment will be for either later in the day or the next day or down the road. And the Secretary of State has just opened up 350,000 appointment slots at the Michigan branches through September. She's indicated that 20-minute slots will now become 10-minute slots. They'll be able to work faster and more efficiently. Puts the onus, it seems to me, on the SOS workers, who by and large are a very, very hard-working group of people. My experience with the Secretary of State's office, other than weights, has always been positive. The people have always been friendly, efficient, knowledgeable, and that goes through many administrations and both sides of the political aisle. And as a matter of fact, Ruth Johnson, who was the former Secretary of State and a Republican, has praised this move by the current Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, as a move in the right direction and a good system. She thinks more still has to be done, but she praised this move as a good one. So there seems to be some bipartisan support. What there is not support for is what happened during the pandemic, and they got so far behind. One of the reasons for this additional 350,000 appointments through September is to try and take care of the backlog of people who need driver's licenses, license plates, transfers of title, you name it, all the things the SOS office does. It'd be interesting to see how the system works. We've got a caller waiting, so let's begin our phone calls this morning. Andy is in Midland. Andy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Nice warm day here.
And getting warmer. Yeah.
Good day to go golfing later.
Good day to go golfing earlier. Later, I don't think I'm not good in the real hot weather. Heat. Not very good. But anyway.
I'm not good. I guess I just called. I read the other day on, of course, I seen that on Facebook, so it's got to be true. I just seen that they're talking about putting a roundabout on the corner of Sass and Freeland Road, which is out in the middle of nowhere.
I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen that, but it wouldn't surprise me. One of the reasons is, even though the intersection's in the middle of nowhere, it gets a lot of traffic. And so they're looking.
Well, I know they have the stop sign on the north and south, and they got the stop lights that, got the lights around it that flash. So you can see them during the day a mile down the road.
Right.
Well, I travel that fairly often, and I just never seen a real backup, I guess, or problem getting out.
Well, I think what we're going to have to come to terms with, roundabouts are here to stay, and they are going to be plentiful. I suspect that most new intersections or rehabbed intersections will turn into roundabouts in the future, particularly on well-traveled roads and roads where there is sufficient speed too. I'm not familiar that particular intersection was singled out, but if you saw it, as you say, you saw it on Facebook, so it must be true. But it wouldn't. Let me put it this way: it wouldn't surprise me.
Something tells me, being out in the middle of, traffic, people are driving 50, 55, probably 60 or faster on Freeland Road. Something tells me there's going to be some accidents there.
Actually, if you look at the statistics of roundabouts, they alleviate most accidents. They are very successful.
Well, I think most of them are in a lower traffic area or lower speed area.
No,
and I'm just curious about that.
We were in West Bloomfield recently, about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, and on one of the major roads there were two roundabouts within a half a mile of each other, and at heavy flow and at heavy speed, and they work flawlessly. You can look at the two on the M81 overpass in Saginaw that literally, for the most part, eliminated accidents on that bridge. Now, nothing is perfect. There's always going to be something that can happen. But for the most part, they do the job.
Oh, I agree. And
question is where you put them.
Right. I guess just being out in the middle of the country, mile over, and they're not gonna stop for it or see it or?
Oh no, you get plenty of notice. Oh, you get plenty of notice. Oh yeah, you don't just come upon it and there you are. There are all kinds of signs they put up to warn you that you're about to come to a roundabout. But here's the thing.
You can't read those while you're texting and
well, I don't care if you're doing that. Obviously, you're not going to read anything. Yeah. But here's the thing. I hope that if they do it, they do a study first that demonstrates the need. That's the bottom line. So
Right.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it, Andy. Appreciate it.
Oh, I will too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. And Errol in Saginaw before we take a break. Errol, good morning.
You ever been to Hilton Head?
Yeah.
Every intersection is a roundabout.
Yeah, there are a lot of them in the country. They're not new.
Unbelievable.
They're not new. They're only new in quantity to us. They're not new in the country.
Yeah. What I really called you about is if I spoke to you in French, would you understand me?
Not a word.
Okay. Apparently, our Secretary of State does not understand the English language. They do not want this. People want to be able to walk in and do their driver's license stuff, not all this crap that she's thought up. It is a pain in the backside. I walk in the door, I expect to get waited on.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Errol, and I'll tell you why. In the last couple of times that I've gone to the Secretary of State's office prior to the pandemic, I went online and made an appointment first. And within 4 minutes of my appointment time, when I walked in the door, I was being served. There were people in there that had sat there for at least 45 minutes. So I approve of the appointment system. I think it's great. Now, should there be some kind of walk up? Listen, if you want to go and sit for an hour to get served, and I guess that's your business. But I'll tell you what, the appointment system is pretty slick when it works. And even the former Secretary of State, who's a Republican, came out and said it's a great idea. So,
it's a great idea for anyone that understands computer. 90% of the people in this state do not.
Which is why
with a computer to make appointments.
Which is why there is a phone number you can call to make an appointment.
Why do you need an appointment?
You don't. If you want to sit there on your fanny for an hour, okay. But I'm telling you, as a system, it's going to be far more efficient in the long run.
It's not going to be efficient for anyone that does not want to
I
make
gathered that.
appointment, Arthur.
I gathered that.
Okay. Oh, good. We agree. We're getting better.
All right.
We're getting better. But I disagree completely on this BS of making appointments. Sir.
All right, Errol.
Goodbye.
Good enough.
Play golf.
Take care. Nah, not today. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We'll get to Alan Midland when we return. It's the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
Your day starts before the sun rises. To the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggled to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the...
Stocks opened higher. Technology shares appear to be holding up this week, though investors are watching for possible signs of inflation. Summer weather is believed to be prompting more people to start using vacation days, leading to thinner trading volumes. Campbell Soup says it's dealing with supply issues. It's paying more for ingredients and transportation. Sales declined 12% in the recent quarter, which compared with a year ago when people were stocking up to eat at home. Lordstown Motors says it's trying to find enough cash to start commercial production of its electric pickups. It's unclear whether it can make it through the end of the year, and it has found issues with it. Vera Bradley, the accessories and handbag company, is reporting a smaller loss for the recent quarter. It's also raising expectations for the year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosilda, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come in sizes and fits for every body, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for Dad at untuckit.com or one of 80-plus Untuck It stores nationwide. For 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Robert Riopel has taught over 500,000 students around the world how they can gain financial freedom because he and his wife knew what it was like on the other end of that spectrum.
Rich people, they think long term. Poor people think gratification. And we were all about the instant gratification.
Don't miss the next episode of The Big Impact with special guest Robert Raymond Riopel, Sunday night at 9 on WSGW.
All right, back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Al is in Midland. Al, good morning.
It got a little scary there. The phone went quiet for about 45 seconds.
Oh, really?
I thought it died.
It didn't.
A couple of things. Secretary of State, my license expired. My driver's license expired. I've renewed it now, but it expired back in 2019. I was driving around for a whole year with an expired license, and I was not able to renew it until probably 2 weeks into June, and my birthday is in May. So
what was the reason for that?
Yeah.
What was the reason? What was the Al?
Right.
In 2019, before the pandemic, what was the reason for that?
They shut down the Secretary of State.
They did that in the pandemic. They didn't do it before the pandemic.
But my license expired in May.
Of 2019, you said.
Right.
Well, 2020 was the pandemic.
Well, they shut down everything. They were taking appointments. I was not able to renew it for a full year.
Not even online.
I tried to do the appointments over the phone. They kept telling me it was months and months ahead of time. It's like 2 or 3 months ahead of time. See, everything I did, I went online to try to make appointments. They would tell me it's 2 weeks later, and you had to agree to all these things that you had to make the appointment. And if you didn't make the appointment, they wouldn't allow you to make appointments. So I got kind of scared, and I didn't want to make an appointment I couldn't make. So I didn't do that route. Finally, I got it renewed, but it was a pain in the rear.
But you chose to delay that long by not, for example, making an appointment 2 weeks out. You chose to add delay to your license. That was your choice.
Right. Yeah, I can't be the only one doing that. It shows you the serious flaw in this system, though.
Well, I don't think so. They offered you an appointment. You chose not to take it.
But I can't guarantee the 2 weeks ahead of time that I'm going to be able to make that appointment. That's the problem.
Well, then I guess you have
I don't know what I'm going to be doing 2 weeks from now.
Well, that's why I have a calendar. I know what I'm going to be doing 2 weeks from now for the most part.
Yeah, you can kind of plan some, but you can't plan everything.
Well,
the thing about the roundabouts, they work great out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they work.
The problem is there's a serious flaw in them. If you have them in a pedestrian area, it's awful hard to cross roundabout when the traffic's coming 30 miles an hour and you're a pedestrian, either walking or walking a bike along it. They're difficult to cross. They are a problem for pedestrian areas.
I haven't seen too many in pedestrian areas. I'd have to look at that.
Well, we do have one here in Midland. They put in somewhat of a pedestrian area. It's where the M20.
I'm familiar with that one. I didn't see any
down near Saginaw Road.
Yeah, I didn't see any pedestrian crossings there, but I'll have to look.
There is pedestrian people crossing that area because we do have shopping and various things in that area. So, but that tried to put one in the downtown area in Midland too, and we've got pedestrian housings on both sides of Main Street, and there's businesses back and forth. If you put a roundabout in there, you're going to cause all kinds of chaos. So they work great out in the middle of nowhere. That's a perfect spot for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, they didn't put them downtown. I don't know.
They didn't, but they have to be careful. You're right. They have to study this, and they have to be careful about where they do it and do the proper planning because they do have issues with them. It can be very expensive. If they have it comes to, are you going to put a bridge or a tunnel to get over or under this thing that you're doing? And that adds to the cost. So sometimes it's a very difficult thing to do, but the fellow that had a problem with it out in nowhere, that's the perfect spot for him.
All right.
Thank you, Arthur.
Fair enough.
Have
Okay,
a nice morning, sir.
Hey, you too. Bye-bye now. All right, lines open for you here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us. I would hope that before they put a roundabout anywhere, they do a traffic study that includes pedestrians. But as a general principle, they seem to do pretty well. Pretty well. Also, let's go back to the Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, for a moment. I want to clarify my position a bit here. I like the appointment system, and I think it's a great idea. However, going back to what Errol talked about, I do think, at least in some branches, there should be a walk-up option. Maybe at a specific time of the day. Maybe walk-ups are accepted from 1 to 3 p.m. at certain branches that are able to handle it. I would not be against that. And that provides the option for anyone who wants to use that particular method of going to the Secretary of State. So you make appointments in the morning and after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And from 1 to 3 at branch X, we will take walk-up traffic. But it's from 1 to 3. Don't show up at noon. Don't show up at 11:30. Show up at 1 o'clock. Might be an alternative, might be an answer to accommodate everyone. They are allowing walk-ups for handicap placards. And there will be a greeter there to get you in for that. So, they are making certain allowances. Maybe that's another one that could be made. Let's talk to Joe in Saginaw. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you today?
We're doing well, Joe. Hope you are.
Well, I talked to you the other day about the immigration, and it was good. and so we didn't get to cover very much of it. But, I think the fact that our federal government has been kicking this immigration issue down the road ever since Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, you're right.
They pass it back and forth, and
and they blame each other. They pass it back and forth, and they blame each other.
That's right. And compromise has become a dirty word.
Yeah.
I negotiated for unions here for a number of years, and we always went in with goals that we knew we weren't going to get everything that we went in with, and the other side was also aware that they weren't going to get everything that they went in with.
Yeah.
And so compromise was the necessary solution.
Yep.
And so I think the issue was to sort out our most, what we thought of as our most pressing issues and push them and sell out. We took in some issues that we were willing to
of course, and you knew what it was going in.
Yeah, that was part of.
Well, here's what's happened today, and here's what's different from what you did. Even though there was press coverage of the big auto industry negotiations and all of that, what you did, for the most part, was not in the public eye. And you could go into a conference room and sit down with those at the other side of the table, say what you want, negotiate what you want, make the deals what you want. And after it was all said and done, everybody found out what it was. In this day and age of social media and electronic media particularly, they've used the platforms to stake their grounds publicly before they ever go in. And in order to satisfy their constituency, they don't move. Well, that's unfortunate. You could not have negotiated that way.
Right. I think that's true of our Justice Department, too. So many issues are settled in the media before they ever get to the courts.
Well, no, they're not settled in the media. They're talked about in the media. They're talked about, though. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's true. So, well, listen, the immigration issue has been here for a long time. The immigration issue will continue to be here for a long time. And I've seen nothing that this administration has done to alleviate that problem. So
I think that's the case.
So, all right.
But I think the other thing is
real quick,
both sides have become so polarized.
Well, that's the public attention, the media.
Well, I know, but I think it's it's like the lunatic fringe of both parties are running the show. It's like the tail wagging the dog.
Well, let's put it this way: they're making the most noise. I have said for a long time, and I just said this the other day to Scott Robbins from the Markley Van Camp Robbins show, and I heard him talk about it on the show. The far left and the far right make all the noise. Most of us don't live there. Most of us live in the middle to some degree or another. We may be right of center, we may be left of center, but we don't live on the far fringes. Most Americans live in the middle. So
and we're also more inclined to go with what is logically or the case.
We would hope so.
When we have,
not sure that's true, but we'd hope so.
Of the Republican Party, the fact that the election was stolen, I mean, that's craziness.
Yeah. Well, both parties have their issues. That one is particularly aligned with the Republican Party. All right, Joe, I got to run. I got to take a break. We'll talk again.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.
More coming up on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
For almost 20 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because the rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
Menards has what you need for an outdoor update. Make your thicker lawn. It's a combination of grass seed, fertilizer, and soil improver that makes your lawn thick and hardy. A bag covers up to 1,200 square feet. Save 11% on all grass seed, including Scott's Thicker Lawn. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through June 12th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Slither into the Saginaw Children's Zoo, and you never know who you might see at an animal meet and greet at an amphitheater show. Visit new barnyard friends, llamas, Bandana and Charlie, and Pig Charlotte. The Rainforest Run Playground and Fossil Finder open this year, and remember to take your ride on the ADA accessible train and carousel. We will see you at the zoo this year.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you zoo?
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271. And we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
Today on Hey Culligan, better water, better food. Here's Gary in Chicago.
Hey Culligan, my water smells like a swimming pool and my hot dog tastes like one.
It sounds like your water comes with a little chlorine.
Chlorine?
You know, you could get a great for cooking water, delicious for drinking water, Culligan reverse osmosis system.
Yeah, I'll take one of those and 2-3 more hot dogs.
No can do on the dogs, Gare, but one Culligan reverse osmosis system already on the way. Let us help you with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Mike is in Unionville. Mike, good morning to you.
How you doing, Art?
I'm doing all right.
I'm not a golfer. I'm a fisherman. So
Hey, good. Listen, well, I hope the Bay is in good shape for you this year.
Yeah, so far so good.
Good.
But as far as the Secretary of State stuff, I had nothing but problems with the SOS, getting driver's license and plates and stuff. And the thing that really bugs me is it's a government service, right?
Yep.
And okay, you go to the police office, you walk in, whatever government service, you walk in. Tax dollar, if we can't get in there.
I see what you're saying. In other words, because it's a tax-paid service, you should be able to just walk into it.
Correct.
Well, as I said before, I like the appointment system, but I'm not against, having a time period where you can walk in. I guess that would be the compromise as I see it.
Yeah. I'm kind of like the other guy. 2 weeks ahead, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, that's, I'm not sure now. I think the appointment scheduling is a lot quicker, but I hear you. I mean, I understand not everybody plans out there 2 weeks ahead like I do. So yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry.
It's impossible for me with my lifestyle and the way I work and everything. My schedule changes from week to week.
Well, hopefully with this, I mean, if you try the appointments set up now, they release appointments at 8 a.m. and 12 noon, and everybody says they get gobbled up pretty quick. But that's for that day. You should be able to find one within a day or two.
My wife tried to get her driver's license. She tried to call at noon. Busy. And she's got a short fuse, so she could just quit.
She doesn't have online capability?
Yeah. And I had my one vehicle. I paid for the plates and waited and didn't come. I kept calling, where's my plates? Oh, give it 7 to 10 days. And it never came. And finally, I got a hold of somebody. I don't remember how I did it. And I had to pay a late fee.
You had to pay a late fee? Why?
Yeah, because I didn't buy them before the date of when they were due, which I did. I even showed it to them on my bank statement.
I would have thought that. That's for sure. So
I did.
Well, listen, it is one of those it's one of those agencies we love to hate.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's on the top of a lot of people's list. I understand that. All right. Listen, good luck with it. Take care.
We'll see you.
You bet, Mike. Carl, hang on. We'll get to you after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
Life in the Tri-Cities seems to be getting back to normal. M&R wants to remind you that now is a great time to replace your old garage door from the pros at M&R Garage Door. Home design experts agree. Replacing your garage door can instantly transform the look of your home. Almost more than any other exterior improvement, M&R Garage Door can install your new door or opener professionally and has trained staff to stand behind their work. M&R has been selling, installing, and repairing doors for over 50 years. Remember, at M&R Garage Doors, service is their specialty.
Power plants usually work their hardest, weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m., June through September. And when they work harder, the cost of energy increases. By helping you make simple changes, Consumers Energy's summer peak rate can help lower your monthly bill and help Michigan switch to cleaner forms of energy. Together, we can keep Michigan beautiful for generations to come. Visit consumersenergy.com/summer rate to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Whew. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
1-2, swing and a miss. Oh boy, the changeup. Career high strikeout number 10 for Tarek Skubal. First time he has reached double digits.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back on the Art Lewis Show. Let's get back to our phones. Carl is in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. Let's talk about the Secretary of State and roundabouts.
Okay.
As far as the Secretary of State, I've done everything through the mail. I've gotten my driver's license through the mail. I've gotten my license tabs through the mail. I write a check and I send in the form. And
but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, and I do the same thing. I do almost everything by mail, but there are certain renewal periods where, for example, you will find you cannot renew your driver's license by mail. You have to go in after so many years.
I would be okay. I would be okay with like 4 lanes inside the office are by appointment. 1 lane is walk-in. First come, first serve.
That's similar to what,
Yeah, I'd be okay with that if you want to.
In other words,
the idea that you can't make an appointment. I mean, if you go to the dentist, you make an appointment. You go to the doctor.
Of course.
Even when I go get a haircut now, my place used to be a walk-in haircut place. Now you have to make an appointment.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
That's just the way things are right now. So it's just But as far as, like I said, I do it by mail. I don't go in at all.
Well, I try not to. I try not to.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and as far as roundabouts, I was thinking the corner of State and Midland in Saginaw, I think would be I think that would be a candidate for a large roundabout there. Of course, you'd have businesses that are there.
Yeah. That's an interesting. It's an interesting idea. Now, I'm more than familiar with that because I live across the bridge on River Road, and it's an interesting intersection because it's not a pure intersection. It's a divergence, if you will.
Hybrid kind of.
It's a real hybrid. As a matter of fact, when they redid that intersection and they built it the way it is now, they had to go back and rebuild it because the first way they built it was just ridiculously dangerous. They had the point where you turn right if you're going east, sticking way out, and you almost found yourself in opposing traffic. And they came back and did what they called a safety fix.
Well, I don't think it's still a very safe intersection.
It's better than it was. Let's put it that way.
But I think a roundabout there might be the answer.
Might be an efficient way of doing it. Yeah, might be.
Smoothly.
Might be.
Yeah. I remember one time in Florida getting into a roundabout, and it was a 2-lane. It had an inner lane and an outer lane, and I got stuck in the inner lane of this roundabout, and I was years ago. I was not used to them at that time, and I couldn't get out of the inner lane. I was going around in circles and circles. And I didn't know what to do.
But you do get used to them once you drive them. I mean, you learn pretty quick. Doesn't take very long to figure them out. So.
Yes, and the key, if you're not used to them, the key to roundabouts, I finally figured out, is the people in the roundabout have the right of way. The people that are already in the roundabout.
Right. If you're entering it, you'll have a yield sign.
Yes, but a lot of people don't seem to understand that. They think it's more like a merge lane.
Yeah, there's a lot of people don't understand speed signs and don't understand all kinds of signs. So I hear you. All that. All right, Carl. Take care.
Thanks, Art.
Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Mitch in Saginaw. Mitch, good morning.
Yes, hi, Art.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I really enjoy your show, first of all.
Thank you.
And just about all the WSDW programming. I do want to comment about the programming change that moved Tom Sullivan to the evening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to him. It's really a great show. A lot of good advice. And Dave Ramsey, too.
Yeah.
And both of them now are on the evening. So I really think it's hurt,
well,
the public. And
all I can tell you is it's a business, and the numbers apparently are what drive these things. What happened is that when the consolidation between the AM and the FM took place, you can't have two shows in the same time slot.
Right.
And the
I
contractual obligations, the contractual obligations with Hannity meant that Sullivan had to get moved or first discontinued. And then when they decided to move Markley Van Camp and Robbins to the noon hour, that opened up that evening slot, and the decision was made, let's put Tom Sullivan in there. He was thrilled to be back on the radio, to be honest with you. He does promote the fact that you can call him from 3 to 6 live, and then you can listen to the show at night. So it was kind of a compromise. Better than nothing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I went to listen to him some. I probably don't listen to Anthony much at all because he's on too late.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I also wanted to come up with your state talk.
You're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up. Are you in a dead zone with your cell phone or something?
Yeah, I was on speakerphone.
Oh, there you go. That's better. That's better.
Yeah. In regards to Secretary of State, an appointment-only system is not going to be as efficient for the flow of people going through the office. Because there's going to be wait times waiting for the next appointment. If I go in and take 5 minutes, I'll be done and out, and then there's a 10-minute gap before the next appointment. So they really do need a hybrid where it's a blend of walk-in and appointments.
Well,
here's
the exception. Here's the difference. Instead of basing appointments on a 20-minute window, which is what they were doing, they're now basing appointments on a 10-minute window. And you're also going to be told to be there before your appointment. So if you go in and it only takes you half the time, the next person's going to get accelerated up. So, I mean, listen, there's nothing perfect. And I am coming quickly to the conclusion that there needs to be some kind of hybrid.
Yep, I agree.
So,
because up to recently, they've been like 3 months out for appointments. It hasn't been 2 weeks. So I've been trying to transfer a vehicle to my son. So I want to go in the Secretary of State's office with him to do the transfer. He's down in Battle Creek. I'm in Saginaw. So it's just really, and he works all the time. So it's just very difficult to logistically tie that to appointment. And that's where ideally when I go down and see him and help him, work during the day, I could walk, wait,
Yep.
So, I agree with the one guy that said, it is a public service, and I feel like they've done a very poor job of servicing the public for the last year.
Well, like I said earlier, it's one of those agencies people love to hate, and I discount the last year because of the pandemic. They're people too, and so I discount the last year. However, prior to that, through many administrations, they've not been the favorite agency of many people. So this is historic. It's not new.
Right. That they wrote office terrible. I just can't. But there's other smaller offices that in the past we were on.
Of course, anytime I've gone to the Bay Road office, I've had an appointment and I've been taken right away. So I can't complain about them. Right. And they've been very friendly. So I guess I have less complaints mainly because I've been lucky. I don't know. Anyway, listen, I appreciate the call.
Okay.
Have a good one. Lee, we're not going to get to you today. I'm sorry, but we'll have more opportunity tomorrow. And in the meantime, let's take our last break, and then we'll be back to close out.
It's big, it's loud, and it's lurking in your basement or your garage.
Honey, it's making that noise again.
It's your water heater.
If your water heater is on the fritz, call A Plus Plumbing today. Let's replace that old clunker with a compact, high-efficiency, tankless water heater. From maintenance to repair to complete installation, A Plus Plumbing handles all commercial and residential needs. A Plus Plumbing, your tankless water heating experts. Online at aplusplumbingmi.com.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to spectrummobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Tomorrow, for another day, more good comments, calls, interviews, and all that good stuff. We look forward to it. CBS News coming up at the top of the hour, then the local report. We'll be back with Focus. We're going to focus on the Saginaw Area YMCA big concert coming up next week. We'll tell you more about it with Doug Temple when we return. Talk to you then.
Specialist Studios. This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Biden on his way to Europe.
Europe and the United States are tight, and the G7 is going to move.
The U.S. and Europe are tight, he says, and he indicates that point will be made clear to Russia and China from the G7. CBS's Vicky Barker is in London.
The president will arrive here in the UK with a to-do list of talking points, but the overall message to everyone he meets on this 8-day, 3-nation trip will be this: America is back, once again a player on the international stage after the isolationist years of the Trump presidency.
Next week, Mr. Biden will hold a summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin. Government health officials are concerned about the COVID variant first detected in India called Delta of American adolescents needing hospital treatment for COVID. White House health advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci.
The transmission is peaking in the younger group of 12 to 20-year-olds. Namely, that group that we're concerned about here, about making sure they get vaccinated.
The government's announced a deal with Merck to buy 1.7 million doses of an experimental antiviral pill against COVID. Authorities in San Bernardino County, California, are hunting the driver of a pickup who ran into a group of girls along a road, killing 3 and leaving 1 critically injured. Local school superintendent Peter Livingston is distraught.
When you have something like this happen and people run away from little girls dying in the middle of the road on a night, it's not right.
An analysis of 15 years of IRS records indicates the 25 richest Americans used loopholes to pay little or no federal income tax. Jesse Eisinger, who co-wrote the piece for Pro this morning, how they often do it.
They choose when to take income. Sometimes they don't take income at all. They don't take wages. And it's only taxed when they sell, and they often don't sell. They borrow to fund their lifestyle.
Fastly, the company at the center of yesterday's website outage, says it was caused by a bug in a software update that went undetected in testing and was triggered when a customer changed a setting. CBS's Elaine Cobb tells us about a new step intended to instill confidence in the safety of the upcoming Summer Olympics.
The Japanese Olympic Committee says all the athletes will be subject to GPS monitoring. So will members of the media. That's as the country continues to battle a 4th wave of coronavirus infections with just 6 weeks to go before the games. Foreign fans have been told to stay away.
Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 34 points. NASDAQ is up 38 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth. Financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, Relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection planning in Michigan for over 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revoke? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Rice's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, June 17th at 2 o'clock in Saginaw at the Capocco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryrifelawyer.com.
Imagine a place so inviting that it becomes your home. The Wellspring Senior Living Campus in Saginaw is designed for you to live life to the fullest. Our tailored approach to independent and assisted living fits your lifestyle and preferences. If you'd like the Wellspring family by your side, encouraging you every step of the way, schedule a tour at Wellspring Senior Living Campus today at SaginawSeniorLiving.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 82 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchop. The Long-Term Recovery Group and the Midland Area Community Foundation will be exploring the next steps of flood recovery during a recovery session via Zoom Thursday at 10:30 a.m. The session will cover ongoing recovery efforts, plans for the future, and how the flood impacts the region. Flood recovery sessions are open to everyone, but attendees are required to register on the Midland Area Community Foundation website. Sessions are held monthly on the second Thursday of the month and are also recorded for on Community Foundation's YouTube channel. Main Street in Midland is now closed to all vehicle traffic and parking at Ashman, McDonald, and Rod Streets through Wednesday, November 3rd to create the Commons Pedestrian Plazas, an expanded vehicle-free outdoor area. Midland officials said the pedestrian plazas have been created to allow for additional outdoor dining and retail space for downtown businesses, event programming, and extra space for social distancing during the ongoing pandemic. The intersection of Main and McDonald Street is closed to through traffic. The intersections of Main with Ashman and Rod will remain open to through traffic while the pedestrian plazas are in place. The new Commons Refreshment Area is a multi-block designated social district which allows visitors to purchase, carry, and consume alcoholic beverages purchased from participating establishments located inside the area. Visit downtownmidland.com for more information. Following the approval of Midland, scooters will be coming to Bay City. The initial launch will add 75 scooters to the area, which typically cost $1 to rent and start, and 10 to 40 cents per minute while riding. Residents with questions about the addition spoke with Bay City commissioners at this week's session, citing concerns of use on sidewalks and other traffic maintenance questions. City Manager Dana Muscat says that any issue will be handled the same as someone driving a vehicle or bicycle. The scooters, which can be borrowed for use through the Bird smartphone app and coined as an eco-friendly transportation alternative, have been successful around the Great Lakes Bay region thus far. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. Satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
WSGW News Time 11:08. A man accused of killing two neighbors in southwestern Michigan told police he shot them last week because they were too loud and he couldn't sleep. That's according to a court document filed in Kalamazoo County. The sheriff's investigator says William Wolf knocked at the apartment door in Galesburg and shot Virgil Walker. Warning. Wolf told police he said goodbye to his cat, drove away, then called 911. Investigators say Wolf's mental health might have played a role. He's in custody on murder charges. Auto companies are looking for help from the federal government at the wake of the computer chip shortage. What kind of help may be coming? Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilberts.
Amid proposals that have the government spending billions to beef up chip making in the U.S., the Biden administration asking the secretaries of Transportation, Commerce, and Agriculture to examine the entire supply chain. Toyota Vice President Bob Young says it's more than a short-term problem.
Any additional capacity around the world, I think, is good for everybody because it's going to be needed and used.
The shortage of chips, meanwhile, prompting GM to stop installing fuel-saving stop-start systems in some of its trucks.
The National Wildlife Federation has launched a new campaign featuring actor Jeff Daniels, believing his distinctive voice and Michigan roots will help awareness in the effort to shut down the Line 5 oil pipeline in the Straits of Mackinac. The organization says the ads speak to pure Michigan way of life, claiming Line 5 is a ticking time bomb threatening the Great Lakes. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1110. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late today. Otherwise, a blend of clouds and sunshine develops with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the northeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions, a low near 64. By Thursday, sunshine, a high around 88 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny skies and a high around 88. Saturday, a chance for rain showers here late, increasing cloud cover, high around 85. Sunday, high of 85 with a chance for some rain showers here late. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 84.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And welcome to our Wednesday edition of Focus here on WSGW. We're going to focus on something put on by the Saginaw Area YMCA called A Concert for a Cause. We're going to learn about that this morning. From the Y, we say good morning to Doug Temple. Doug, good morning to you.
How are you?
We're doing all right. How are you doing this morning?
Great. We're doing good. It's a little warm outside, but I hope the weather stays just like this for Thursday the 17th.
Well, let's talk about that. What brought about the Concert for a Cause? And I know it benefits not only you, but the Emmaus House. What brought all this about?
Sure. So the Emmaus House and the YMCA are partners in a program called Creating Healthy Communities. It's really a collaborative effort with 4 or 5 different shelters in the area, not only to bring awareness of the work that each of those shelters do and what the YMCA does for their members as well, but it allows them access to come to the Y. This event is allowing us to, the world is kind of opening up finally. It's been a long haul, and it allows the Y to provide a great community concert in partnership with the Emmaus House, but it's also going to give us about this particular program, Creating Healthy Communities, and how the Saginaw community benefits.
Now, I know it's going to be June 17th from 5 to 8:30 p.m. I know that because I'm emceeing. The question is, where is it?
So right behind the Y, we've got this beautiful patio that overlooks the Saginaw River. You can fit easily. We were out there today, probably 500 people out there, so you got to bring your own lawn chair. But the entertainment will be on the patio. The individuals will be sitting in the lawn right outside the patio next to the river, looking back at the YMCA. You can actually see it from M46 as you drive by as well.
Is there a cost?
There's no cost. It's completely free to the community. And we've got not only some great partners and sponsors such as yourself and Alpha Media, but we've had HAP, Patriot Cleaning, Team One. We've got some of the just a lot of partners that are helping make this possible. Trucks there. We're going to have lots of games and stuff for the family. We're actually working with Saginaw County Parks and Rec on coming out and providing games for kids to do as well.
So it is a benefit for both of you, Emmaus House and the Y. So how are you going to raise the money?
Well, we've got some sponsors, but we'll do some 50-50 events the night of the event. So anybody that's here that wants to partake, they can in some 50-50 events. Businesses have been sponsoring all along, and we're hopeful that this is going to be an annual event. So from here on out, we'll be able to get more sponsors and more awareness. This year, right, really tough because we never knew when things were really going to open up, and it looks like we're there now. So I think next year is going to be a lot easier to get the funds that we need.
Now let's talk about that just for a minute. With things opening up, how is the Y doing? Is the is the fitness area fully open now?
Yeah, so we opened up originally in September of 2020, and as you know, certain areas were not available. But now pretty much everything within the Y is open. There are some areas that are limited. They're limited in capacity, but we're and then to be honest with you, some of the areas we're just hiring staff left and right trying to get people in here so we can open up even more broad. But yeah, everything at the Y is open.
I have to ask, where are you finding the staff?
Well, I haven't yet, Art. That's why we need to find some more.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break.
Out there.
Yeah, we'll take a break and talk about that when we return. We're talking to Doug Temple. Concert for a Cause, Thursday, June 17th, 5 to 8:30 p.m., right behind the Y on the Riverside. And we'll talk more about it when we return. We'll tell you who the artists are that are going to be performing. All ahead here on the Art Lewis Show Focus. We'll be back.
And the winner is... I love to win. And one of us can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. And honestly, everyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May 1st through August 31st, 2021 wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire broker. The Great Loan Payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval. WildfireCU.org/payoff for details.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow and thrive. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
For almost 20 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because the rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the first ever Midland Tournament presented by Forgotten Man Ministries. The player registration fee is usually $100, but if you go to RocketGrabPlus.com right now, you get yours half off. And the winner of the tournament takes home $1,000. The tournament is taking place Saturday, June 26th at the Eagle Ridge Church of God in Midland. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Audio Home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Doug Temple from the Saginaw Area YMCA. Concert for a Cause next Thursday, June 17th, right beside the Y. Let's go back just for a minute, Doug. I just want to touch on this because you mentioned the fact you're looking for staff. What kinds of positions are open and how do people apply?
Sure. So we're hiring pretty much for every position here at the Y. So it could be member services, wellness desk, aquatics, our kids zone. Mission Nutrition is hiring as well. Easy to apply. You can go right to our website, or I prefer people pop in and fill out an application. And at this point, as people come in, we're getting those applications quickly and going through them and trying to set up interviews as quick as possible.
All right. Very good. Tell everybody where the Y is located if they don't know.
Sure. 1915 Fordney Street. So right Street Bridge. We're right on the right-hand side. That's Fordney Street. We're just down on the right.
All right, back to the Concert for a Cause next Thursday, 5 to 8:30 p.m. Who are the performers?
So we have got a great lineup of 4 different performers with the Robert Lee Review Band, Lori and the Lefties, which is Lori Middlebrook. We have Sheriff Fetterspiel's band, The Horse with No Name, and Cherie Williams will be performing as well.
A particular order, or are they just...
No, we're still working out the order, so we don't have a set order. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I know we're getting rolling at 5 p.m., but I got a feeling we might go. But, yeah, it doesn't matter which one of the performers is up. They're all great, and they all have kind of a different genre of music and very eclectic groups.
And it highlights Saginaw and the region.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty good. Let's talk about the food trucks. You're going to have food there, huh?
Sure. So we've got a couple different groups. We got the Artesian Bistro will be here. We actually have Woody's Hot Dogs are going to be here as well. Cherie's International. Yeah, I was glad he's coming by. He's been a fan favorite. Even when we do veterans programs, we try to get him over here. Everybody loves seeing Woody. And then Cherie's International Cuisine will be here. We're still talking with a couple. We'll have Great Lakes Bay Ice Cream here as well. And then I think another great add-on, the Mission Nutrition Program here at the YMCA is serving up free meals for kids under the age of 18 till 6 o'clock. So bring the kids down.
And again, this concert is Concert for a Cause, benefits Emmaus House and the Saginaw Area YMCA, but it's free to the community. Are you going to take donations?
Yes, we'll definitely, like I said, we'll be doing some 50-50s, or if anybody will have volunteers from Emmaus here. If anybody wants to make a free will donation, that'd be greatly appreciated as well.
So now that the pandemic is beginning to wane, things are getting back to some degree of normalcy. What's life like in the Y right now?
Well, that's the thing. Summer is typically slow from a membership standpoint, but a lot of our programs, Camp Timbers, for example, launches. We're doing training this week up in West Branch. Record numbers of kids showing up for Camp Timbers. And then a lot of our programs, they're just coming back online. But our membership boost won't really happen till the fall. I think everybody's been locked up for a year. They're going to take advantage of the summer weather, and we're hopeful for September, October to start to return to some normal numbers.
Tell us just for a bit, you folks participate in the Silver Sneakers program, don't you?
We do, yeah. So if you have insurance, not only Silver Sneakers, there's a program called Silver and Fit, Renew Active, AARP Medicare Supplement. So basically it helps, it offsets the cost of membership here at the YMCA, and easy for people to check. They just call their insurance company and ask, hey, do I have this product on my insurance? And they'll tell you, give you a gym ID, and you come on down and our staff will take care of the rest for you.
Sounds like a great idea, particularly for me, and I
access
promised to do it.
everything.
One of these days, I'm going to
I was
actually
going to say, Art,
I'm
every
gonna-
time I see you, you tell me you're coming down.
I promise. I'm actually going to do it this time. I really need
Hey,
to.
if you're going to be here on the 17th, MC, and just come a few minutes early, it only takes a couple minutes, we'll get you signed up.
Well, we may just do that. We may just
Sounds
do
good.
that. Sounds like a good plan. Good plan
It
indeed.
does.
So, yep, that's right. We will be emceeing the Concert for the Cause, Thursday, June 17th, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., right alongside the Saginaw Y. And Doug, always fun to talk to you. Played much golf lately?
I have not been out much. I've been in the sun, but I haven't been playing much golf. Hopefully, I was waiting for my invite from you so we could get out.
Well, we'll do that. That sounds like a good idea, and I'm also looking forward to the LPGA tournament. Can't wait for the Dow LPGA to come back. Great Lakes Bay Invitational.
Full field, open to unlimited participants, I just saw, so it'll seem like summer come July.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, my friend, we'll see you next Thursday, the 17th, 5 to 8
Sounds
p.m.
good,
at
Art.
the Y. All right, talk to you then.
All right,
Take care.
care.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
now. Doug Temple from the Y, we thank him. The Concert for the Cause, again, Thursday, June 17th, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Cherie Williams, Robert Lee Review Band, Lori and the Lefties, that's Lori Middlebrook, and the Sheriff's Band, Sheriff Fetterspiel, horse with no name, I love it. We'll be back to close out and find out what's happening in the marketplace after these notes.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 82129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Builders' demand is through the roof. To keep up, his business needs a stronger foundation.
Cut the saw, all right? Just one sec. Bowles Builders, this is Bow. This weekend? Yeah, we can do it.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Focus Show on WSGW, brought to you by Northeastern Paint Supply in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
All right, back with you, and we thank Doug Temple for being with us. Let me ask you a question. How was your sleep last night? You know, we're asked to do more today, so when you go to bed and theoretically you spend a third of your life there, you really need quality sleep, and you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent and they stay right here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Don't be fooled by today. Even though your bedtime may be cut short, you can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And remember, they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you. That's something the box stores can't do. So visit them today. Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving the area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. Sanitary Mattress. And that'll do it for Focus for today. Time to head over to Baird & Company for our ticker tip of the day. That's where we find Steve Anderson. Steve, good morning to you.
And good morning to you too, sir.
Here we are midweek. How are the markets doing?
Well, right now they're moderately up. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 37 points, putting it at 34,637. Volume 324 million shares. Before at 13,959 on volume of 483 million shares.
And your ticker tip for the day?
My tip is there are a lot of people who still have some of the old Series E savings bonds that either they acquired through payroll deduction, a gift from parents or grandparents, or in any number of other ways. And a lot of those same people don't realize do mature at some time and stop earning interest, and that interest rates change periodically. So therefore, I'm thinking investors should check their bonds, earning interest, and if they matured, cash them in and invest the money where it can begin to earn interest again. Investors can either take their bonds to the bank and have them valued, or get the information they need. You can go online at www.savingsbonds.com, and then you just put in the number of your bond, look it up, and decide what you need to do. And your financial advisor may be able to help with that part of the process and can give you some ideas as to proper alternatives. But if you do need to redeem your bonds, that can normally be accomplished at your local bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so even with savings bonds, you do need, as you do your review of your entire portfolio. So don't forget about them.
And how do you get some help from you?
Well, you can call us right here at Baird & Company, where the telephone number is 790-5724, or you can find us on the Baird, and that's BAIRD.com, and look for the Saginaw branch.
All right, Steve, have a great day. We'll talk to you toward the end of the week.
Sounds good, Art. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Steve Anderson at Baird & Company. We thank him for joining us today with the ticker tip. Let's move over for Terry Henney's Farm Show. That'll be along after these notes.
Social Security. You've spent your entire working life paying into it. So don't you want to get the most out of it, squeezing it for all it's worth? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors can show you ways to do that with their free Social Security report. It's a great first step to learn benefits can play a role in your overall retirement income plan, especially because the Social Security Administration isn't able to give advice. Get your free Social Security report from Great Lakes Investment Advisors at greatlakesoffers.com/security. That's greatlakesoffers.security. And tune in to Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Ladies and gentlemen, the future. Sevia fungicide from BASF.
Looks like a liquid.
Well, it is. Does it have any buttons or screens? It's a fungicide.
What's the battery life?
No batteries. But it is built from the ground up to navigate the regulatory landscape and provides longer lasting residual control. Experience the future with Sevia fungicide. Always read and follow label directions.
Slither into the Saginaw Children's Zoo, and you never know who you might see at an animal meet and greet at an amphitheater show. Visit new barnyard friends, llamas, being Pig Charlotte. The Rainforest Run Playground and Fossil Finder open this year, and remember to take your ride on the ADA accessible train and carousel. We will see you at the zoo this year.
Saginaw Children's Zoo.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 package in a
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Sunny, but broken record. Boy, it is so humid out there. I mean, you walk outside and you take the knife and cut it down vertically and part it and then walk 2 steps. It is downright sticky. 70% right now is our humidity, and we've got a northeast breeze at 6. Which means things should be a little clearer, but not the case. And it looks as though that northeast, be eventually a north breeze, is going to continue right around 10 miles per hour, but it's not helping us as far as the humidity goes. 83, 82 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is at 82. Downtown Bay City is currently at 83. 30.10 and steady is the barometric pressure as we go through the day. A lot more in the way of sun today than what we have seen for the past few days. And it does appear as though we're going to be looking at more in the way of sunshine the next few days, simply because the low pressure system that's well to the south of us is going to stay well to the south of us. It's going to track from southern Illinois, follow pretty much the Ohio River through Cincinnati and then into West Virginia before it finally begins to break down just a little bit. Another low pressure system, and we've talked about this one as well, currently over North Dakota. It's got a warm front ahead of it. That warm front has been acting or trying to act like a cold front because it's coming from the northeast and dropping to the southwest, and it is cooling things down in northern Michigan, where we're seeing like Alpena currently at 72. You get up into the Upper Peninsula, and we're actually seeing a few high 60s. Mackinac Island is at 68. Munising right now is reporting 55 degrees. Manistee 75, Escanaba 73. Menominee is currently at 69. Houghton 68. But then Ironwood, not to be outdone, they're going to stick with the rest of us down here, 80 degrees right now. Across the state, Detroit with mostly sunny skies is 83. Down in southeast Michigan, once again, spotty shower activity that filtered all the way up into and around through this area. We were seeing widely scattered amounts of precipitation. And I mean, we had some major changes where someone was getting nothing at all. And within about 3 to 4 miles, we were looking at least 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, and in some cases, more than 1.5 inches of rain in the Great Lakes Bay region. So hopefully you were one of those that came in a little bit closer to that inch. Out at the back 40 in Richville, 4/10, which I had to look twice and 3 times. Couldn't believe my eyes, but it came down very nicely. And we did have a few spots. There was one reporting station here in Saginaw, officially 1.25 inches of rain, but then another reporting station also in Saginaw, 1/100th of an inch. Carroll reported 1 inch and 6/10. Vassar had 2/10. The Cass City area didn't even have 1/10 of an inch. Then you get down in the Detroit area. There were a few spots that unofficially, I was told, 2-3 inches of rain, some flooding on some of the low-lying streets down in that part of the state. But like Washtenaw County, Ann Arbor, not even 1/10 of an inch. Chelsea, barely a trace. Manchester looking at about 2/10. Saline, just under 3/10. Dearborn, about 1/3 of an inch. But as I said, all around that area, just varying amounts of precipitation. That's the way it's going to be as we continue through the work week today, tomorrow, Friday. And it does appear as though Saturday we're going to be looking at a chance of some precipitation as well, as this humidity is just not going to go away. The prevailing high pressure system is dropping off a little bit in its intensity, but it's still hovering over eastern parts of Tennessee. That's why the low pressure system down there is going to be breaking down, but still that surge of warm, moist, humid air is going to continue heading up into Michigan. And we really don't see any breakdown in that until we get into the work week next week. And in particular, about midweek next week, where we're going to be looking at temperatures a little bit closer to what's average for this time of the year, which is 77 in the afternoon and 56 at night. So carbon copy once again today, tomorrow, Friday, and right now I think Saturday. We're going to be looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 80s during the day, right around 70 for a low at night. Chances of precipitation increase after 3:30 in the afternoon, dissipate and break down by about sunset. Long range to take us through the 22nd of the month. We're looking at temperatures settling down just a little bit, but still at average levels for this time of the year, especially after about the 18th, 19th of the month. Precipitation values, though, it's going to be tough. Still below average statewide. So hopefully in your neck of the woods, you did pick up a little bit of a shower, and hopefully you will continue to see those little spits of precipitation because those temperatures are really going to rev up. Record high in this state, 93, set back in 1964 and tied in 1974. The record low, 37, set in 1901. And tied in 1977. A year ago, 82 was our high, 62 was our low. Way back in 2019, I say way back, that was a couple of years ago. Tomorrow and Friday, back in 2019, the 10th and the 11th, we had upwards of 3 inches of precipitation in the Great Lakes Bay region, on top of upwards of 3 inches that occurred on the Friday and Saturday morning of Memorial Day weekend that year. So yeah, what a difference a day makes, what a difference a year makes, what a difference a couple of years make. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. We're going to continue to talk a lot about the weather because it is influencing the markets. Gary Kaufman from Star of the West standing by. We'll be talking to him in a moment. But this reminder, first of all, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you by the folks at the Michael Starr Crop Insurance Agency, who invite each and every one of you to just take a minute and be prepared. You know, risk management, it's taking advantage of the situations that you have and also protecting yourself from the situations you don't want to work yourself into. The Michael Starr Crop Insurance Agency can take care of you. And when these storms come up and potentially damage your crop, hail, whatever, why don't you get in contact with the Michael Starr Crop Insurance Agency today and protect some of that crop? Remember, they are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Their agents can be reached directly on their cell phones for questions or emergencies. The office, you can get a hold of them, 989-868-4722. The Michael Starr Crop Insurance Agency. Gary Kaufman, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Terry. I'm doing well, thank you.
What are we doing today? I know the markets had a pretty good one yesterday again.
Yeah, well, you know, what is it, turnaround Wednesday instead of turnaround Tuesday? Well, Tuesday we were up, Wednesday we're down. Everything's down except for July corn, Terry. We finally worked our way back to the positive there, up about 3 cents, but wheat and corn are just trading off the lows of the day, and currently we have cash wheat down a dime. That puts the white at $6.45 and the red at $6.10. That's for both old and new crop. Cash corn, let's call it up 3 right now at $6.68. New crop is actually down 10 at $5.50. Cash soybeans currently down 28 at $15.42, and new crop is down 27 at $13.65.
So we're just giving up what we gained on. Again, that weather market has really driven these prices up, and I mean, we're even with big losses, we're still really hanging up there high, aren't we?
Oh yeah, for sure, Terry. I mean, we're only in the early part of June, and weather's been a major factor in these markets, and you know, once we get to July and August, I don't know if it could be wild, but you know, with planning, you know, now is pretty much essentially complete. You know, we're going to look at the, you know, USDA crop report tomorrow and try to figure out some questions on where the corn acreage will be at this fall. And the consensus today, Terry, is we're thinking, you know, we're going to be right around that 94 million acres, where USDA reported on the May 12th report at 91.1. So, you know, we're going to gain almost 3 million acres of corn is what the trade is guesstimating here. So we'll watch that. Demand on soybeans has been pretty stout, continues to be stout. So maybe on this report tomorrow, we could see an increase in the export number, which will in turn make the ending stocks even more tighter. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they report those numbers tomorrow. So.
I guess we'll keep our ears on for that one. Gary, you take care. Have a good day, okay?
I will, Terry. You do the same. Thank you.
Will do. A little bit more as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer has them for you. The market report brought to you by your Ram Spring commercial truck season dealer. That's Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth. They know trucks and vans, so you can buy with confidence from a dealer where family and service sells cars. They are the Great Lakes Bay Area's certified ag dealer, Schaefer and Beerline. And by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They've got lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. Morning, Doug.
Good morning.
What are we looking at now?
Well, just a little cream off the top today. Not a big deal. Not a trend for sure. Crude oil hit a new high. Gasoline hit a new high. Definitely a trend. S&P 500 hit a new high. That's also a trend. So that's what we're dealing with. Here's your numbers. July corn, $6.82, up 2 cents. December corn, $6.25, down 9 1/4. July soybeans, $15.52 1/4, down 27 3/4. November soybeans, $14.31 1/4, down 25 3/4. The July wheat, $6.75 1/2, down 9 1/2, and December wheat, $6.90 1/4, down 9 cents. Crude oil, $69.78, down 27 cents. Heating oil, $212.71, down a penny. Gasoline, $219.77, down 2.2 cents. And natural gas, $313.80, that's up a penny. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you $1.2095 at the border. That's down 15 ticks. The yen is at 109.61, up 12 ticks. The euro, 121.88, up 17 ticks. The dollar's at 90.07, that's up 2 ticks. Gold's at $18.97.70, up $5.50 an ounce. Silver's at 28 even, that's up 27.5 cents. Platinum's at $11.52.80, that's down $9.70. And I checked the lumber contract just for giggles, and it's at $11.70. And remember, it hit about almost $1,800 on the peak, and they're predicting around $790 in a year. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 60% off its high within the year. We'll see.
Well, that's good news.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Things change.
Well, I can hold off building that wall for another few months. Yeah.
I'm thinking. Mm-hmm.
Talk to you later, Doug.
Okay, see ya.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese. They purchase local soybeans, process local beans, and market a local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. And they've been doing that since 1991. Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. So call them today for a quote. Jerry Samalski along with me right now. Jerry, were you fortunate to get a sprinkle or two, or not really?
Not a drop.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. So I'm still amazed, Terry, with the rain that we haven't had. That turf is still doing fairly well in shaded areas, but it is definitely browning out all over. I hope we can get some widespread rain. I was jealous of some of the weather reports around 1.5 inches, but the one thing nice about this lack of rain, we got to be a silver lining somewhere, right? Mosquitoes are way down. So the mosquito control districts have been doing a great job this year. They haven't had to get out and spray the adult sprays as much. So at least that's helpful there. But again, water, pay attention. It'd be very hard to overwater things right now, Terry. So when in doubt, check and make sure that there's adequate moisture, but, just add water.
All righty. Jerry, take care.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you tomorrow with a plan of the week. All righty. Jerry Samalski. Incidentally, John just sent a report in that he had about 1/3 of an inch in about 5 to 10 minutes over the last 24 hours at his location. And that's what we're hearing around a lot, that whatever precipitation we are getting, it's coming down pretty quick and then going away. The humidity, though, isn't going away, which I don't know. Scott Dumas from Nutrien, is that going to be presenting a problem here? I mean, even though it's been so dry, if we do get some rain and the humidity stays for like 2, 3, and 4 days, what does that do for the crop?
Well, that still leaves that crop under stress, and that's one thing that we want to try to avoid in these early growth stages, at any growth stage, but primarily here when it's early, especially right now with corn. We're entering the V5 stage of corn, and at that stage is when corn determines the number of rows around. So it's determining that ear girth. So we don't like to put stress on corn at this stage of the game.
A couple of the cornfields around me, I have to say they doubled their height in the last 24 hours with that moisture. I mean, the corn was looking okay, but it really did need a drink. And I got 4 tents in the backyard, and driving around some of the fields, it looked as though the corn just shot and took right off. But you bring up a really good point. We're talking development stages, especially the corn. What should our producers be doing as they scout their fields right now, Scott? Anything in particular?
Weeds especially. So if you've got any type of weeds out there, you want to make sure that those are controlled. And also nutrient deficiencies. At this stage of the game, you want to be checking all crops for those. I mean, the grower can take tissue samples. They can call one of our locations. We can go take tissue samples and get those reports back and see what that crop is deficient on. So that's your NPK, your micronutrients. That sometimes what you can't see is your limiting factor. So I would highly recommend tissue sampling and seeing what that, if there is a deficiency in those crops.
I know one thing, I've always been aware that if we get too much rain, it washes the nutrients down. But I never really understood if it's so dry, how does a crop get nutrient deficient?
So a lot of nutrients get into a crop through mass flow. And what that is when water goes into the roots and into the vascular tissue of the crops. And if there's no water moving to the crop, there's no nutrients moving either. So we've got to have moisture for those nutrients to move into that crop.
So at this stage of the game, just be ever so vigilant. And when you do get any precipitation, get ready to move, because that crop is really going to need to utilize as much moisture and protection as it possibly can to get it to maturity.
For sure. And, there's some nutrients out there that help reduce stress and evaporation and keep those plants, help to keep those plants in check. So I would strongly recommend checking those tissue samples.
Very good. Scott Dumas, thank you very much. You take care. Have a good day, okay?
Thanks. You too.
You bet. Scott Dumas with Nutrient Ag.
Have you been thinking about how much you need to save for retirement? Are you already retired and wonder how you can protect and grow your savings? What about the risk level of your current investments? If you have these or other questions about your financial future, now is the best time to get them answered. This is Kim Martin, financial advisor at Thumb Bank and Trust. No matter what life stage you're in, having the right retirement plan will give you peace of mind. At Thumb Bank and Trust, we have been helping clients meet their financial goals for over 125 years. Please give us a call at 866-862-3113 to schedule a conversation. I look forward to answering your questions and helping you build a plan that gives you peace of mind. Non-deposit investment products and services are not insured by FDIC or otherwise federally insured and are not a deposit or guarantee of the bank and may involve investment risk, including possible loss of principal. Thumb Bank and Trust, with locations in Pigeon, Caseville, Cass City, Bad Axe, and Bay City, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Farm Service brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts. It's new parts for old tractors, and it's easy to get. 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Joe Kramer joining me right now with the Michigan Bean Commission. Some things that our bean growers need to know right now, Joe?
Well, Terry, you've been talking about it all morning, and that's the lack of moisture. And it doesn't matter if you're in Mexico, North Dakota, Minnesota, or right here at home, where we need some water to make a bean crop.
And right now, I've seen some beans go in, and I've also seen some packing going on too. Those bean fields are rolled.
Yeah, everybody's doing their best to conserve moisture. I hear a lot of guys talking about eliminating a couple of passes over in terms of working their ground, but I think we've got 80 or 90% of the bean crop planted, especially in the Thumb and Saginaw Valley. A few of the colored beans to go in over in on the west side of the state, but guys are doing everything they can to conserve moisture and get the beans up and out of the ground, and surprisingly, they seem to be doing pretty well.
And we continue to have a market for those beans too, don't we?
Yeah, numbers are strong. I think we're probably gonna carry over a few more beans than we expected, but most of that's related to logistics issues, not necessarily sales or demand, just inability to get them shipped with the lack of equipment. But we're going to need all the acres we can get, and we need every bean that we can off each one of those acres to satisfy the market this year.
And we've still got time to put beans in.
Oh yeah, if you can find an open field someplace, there's certainly demand for black beans and navy beans, probably a few small reds as well. So don't question that move if you've got moisture and you can stick them in, get her done.
Joe Kramer, thanks a lot for sharing. Take care. Have a good day. All right.
See you, Terry.
You betcha. Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. Keep that diesel engine running efficiently. Foster Blue Water Oil has Diesel Guard Supreme Plus from Valve Tech Petroleum to take care of your diesel engine. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we join radio stations all across the country by playing our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM.
This is
I'm Steve Kathan. Congress is looking into whether paying college athletes for their name, image, and likeness is the right thing to do. CBS's Steve